here at Quarry Farm in Elmira. It's sort of this in-between spot between like a private residence and a full-fledged museum. Most of the things in here, they are from the time period of like where Mark Twain and the Langdons would be spending time here. So they're fragile. They can't be open to the public, but at the same time, they shouldn't be just closed off and no one can ever go see them. This was still a home. So a sort of compromise was made in honor of like Mark Twain spending his time here and studying in the quiet in the summers. It became a sort of like an Airbnb to scholars and artists. And with that fragility in mind, we're going to be looking at a piece, Haying by George Waters. It was commissioned by the Langdons. George Waters was a pretty popular artist at the time. A lot of his art is scattered around the city. Elmira College has a whole-fledged gallery named after him. It's treated with the respect of a very old and very like pretty decently popular artist would at the time, but at the same time, it belongs to Langdons. It's sort of just, it's hung up, right? It's hung up the same way you would if you bought a painting and just put it in your house. And you know, there's like 4 other pieces by George Waters as well that's commissioned by the Langdons, just hanging them up. There's no information, there's no plaques, and I think that alongside everything else in the house really balances that like museum and glorified storage unit. It's a house, it's a home, and it's a scholarly retreat, and I think it's amazing because we're able to keep that age. We're able to keep those stories that ultimately will get like diluted and pushed away if it was made into a full-fledged museum. All right, let's go inside and take a look at it. It's like 70 degrees out here.
Because Quarry Farm is a living home, it's not a full museum, so this painting, along with the others, do not have any plaques or information to go with them. However, after some research, the title of this particular painting was determined to be called Haying, which comes directly from the process of cutting, drying, and storing hay for the use as animal fodder. The painting itself is a typical oil on canvas, designated as a countryscape, most likely done sometime in the 19th century during George Waters' lifetime. Waters was particularly known for doing many landscapes as sort of his main subject, and we can see this process of haying taking place within the middle ground region of the painting. The 2 below are gathering the hay, while the one above in the cart gathers it inside. It's hard to determine exactly what the farmers are feeling due to their scale, but it comes off as just a typical day for them. Throughout this painting, we see a lot of artistic elements coming into play. One of the first examples of this is the use of atmospheric perspective, which we can see amongst the background towards the hills, where we see this fog-like effect that is slowly covering them, giving them that sense of depth. We can also see this within the scale of the farmers as well as other objects throughout the image. The brushwork itself on this painting is varied and unique, creating that sense of texture, which we can see is quite varied between the softness of the clouds in the sky or the bushy texture of the foliage. The colors themselves are muted and appear slightly gloomy, yet in some ways are also calming. And this comes from the vast majority of greens that we can see throughout the painting. The overall feelings that are projected from this painting come off as peaceful and calm, almost like a typical type of scene you will see throughout your daily life.
George Waters was born in Coventry, Shenango County, New York in 1832. He started art as young as 18 years old. Like most artists at the time, he went to Europe to go study. He went to Munich specifically, which is kind of known as the art capital at the time. And then he moved to New York City with his wife, and he got kind of tired about it. So in 1861, he moved to Elmira. Despite not being from there, he was pretty well known and liked around the city. He was known as Elmira's home artist. A couple years after moving to Elmira, he became the head of the art department at Elmira College, where he served for 34 years until 1903. Plenty of his art is located around the city of Elmira. Tons of it is in sort of like a shared custody between the college and Quarry Farm, where he's pretty prevalent in both. As we said, he's pretty known for his landscapes. So he would go out, he would sketch landscape, and then he would return back to his studio to go paint it. Landscapes are nothing new to artists, but Elmira's really highlights are its landscapes. Waters got his education around that sort of manifest destiny phase in art. Beautiful empty areas, and really see that in his work. At the time, he was kind of the guy. Everyone from actors, other artists, rich people, and college staff would commission art from him. Mark Twain and the Langdons got a lot of work from him, most of which is still up in Quarry Farm, like Haying. In 1889, he did a portrait of the Elmira College president at the time, Augustus Cowles. If he did a piece on someone who was deceased, he wouldn't sign his name on it, like this painting of Lucius Robinson on the board of trustees at the Elmira College. Overall, people liked him. People would say it wasn't just that he was like an amazing artist, but people would just say that he was really nice to talk to, which I think is just an incredible legacy to leave behind, not just from being like, oh, amazing artist, but also just being kind.